Former Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, is here now. Mr. Speaker, it's great to see you tonight. Let's start with, if we could, the mechanics of politics, sort of the behind-the-scenes stuff. Pretty unprecedented, is it not, for a DNC vice chair to talk about putting money towards primarying Democrats?
Unheard of. The DNC is supposed to unite the party, but what we're watching live is a civil war inside the Democratic Party, and they're fighting for new leadership, and this is what's going to happen. Remember, AOC did this exact same thing a couple years ago, and the party tried to shut her down when she would primary other members in Congress. But she raised the most money of any member in Congress in the last quarter. She's getting the biggest crowds. And this is what I predict. They're going to fight to see who becomes leader of this party. Right now, it's really AOC and Bernie Sanders. But this is what's going to happen. They're going to run against Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi, Schumer, and Hakeem. That will be a motivating factor. They will raise more money running against Democrats than they will running against Republicans. And whoever comes out of that will become the leader of the Democratic Party. And if they go so far, remember, AOC and Bernie Sanders are socialists. They literally registered as socialists. AOC came into the party campaigning for Bernie Sanders. This is so far how far this party has moved, and it shows. They are more at home going to a Latin American country than fighting for a hardworking American.
Yeah, if that side, if that wing of Democrats raises the most money, wins the most primaries, you would have to believe, if you still believe in America, I honestly say this, if you still believe in America, that is a recipe for failure for them on the national stage in a general election.
By far, but there's something Republicans have to understand too. Then there's about 1/3 of Democrats who's been beginning to question their own party that you can be reaching out to. And this is where President Trump is so good, where he's able to move and work. Ronald Reagan did this in Michigan. But if you look at what Donald Trump was able to do that last election, every single swing state, not one, every single swing state he has won. The party needs to be able to move that same way and be opening and welcoming to new people. Remember, you got RFK sitting in and Tulsi Gabbard. These are two people who are running for Democrat president on the other party that are now serving in a Republican administration. That is what the Republican Party needs to do, open more people up while the Democrats fight among themselves and actually make their party smaller.
You know, I'm tempted to ask you if there's any Democratic figure who could stand on the divide in this civil war, who could unite them, who could bridge the gap. But I don't want to ask the question that way because I think it actually ignores the history of Donald Trump, to your point. Donald Trump wasn't a moderate. He didn't bridge two wings of the Republican Party. He truthfully rebranded the party in his own image with his own ideas. So I guess the way to ask this question of you is there any iconoclast, independent thinker, someone who's willing to reject this civil war and guide a new path out there for Democrats?
That's how leaders are created. Who is brave enough? They may not have high polling today, but actually stand against where the Democratic Party stands and say they were wrong on these positions. They were wrong. We should have a secure border. Remember when President Trump ran, Republicans didn't give him a chance. They tried to make fun of him. And he changed this entire party. That's why I tell the Republican Party needs to follow Donald Trump. Donald Trump did very well in this last election. The Republican Party did not. We should have won more seats in the House and more seats in the Senate. And if President Trump is not on the ticket, Republicans don't do as well. So they should learn that he has opened new people to the party. Remember, he was the first person to have a leader of a union speak at the convention. People tried to criticize it. He would reach out to RFK where people would say that was a mistake. And every time he did that, he expanded it. And this is where the Democrats have failed. As they continue to fight internally, Republicans should open up and allow new people in and not be afraid.
And we see the effect with Donald Trump even in policy today when we talk about the role of tariffs. Yeah, I don't know who that person might be when it comes to Democrats, because right now they're not in the process of opening and creating something new or interesting. They're in the process of shaving off, cleaving it, turning it into a civil war and requiring more purity and pushing more people out.
This is a type of atmosphere. Yeah, but this is the type of atmosphere that creates leaders, right? It's like putting your hand in a bucket of water, pulling out. There's a hole, but something's going to fill it. Who is going to fight for the core of who this Democratic Party needs to be? If they want to stay the way they have been, they will continue to lose. This is the best thing for them. They need to wake up, fight for new leadership, and actually rebrand themselves. This is the same name of the party that brought us slavery in America, that brought us the Jim Crow law. This is the same party with the same name that opened up our borders, that made our community unsafe, that brought us inflation that we hadn't seen since the president, Jimmy Carter, a Democratic president. I would want to rebrand this entire party if I was a Democrat.
All right, Mr. Speaker, great conversation. Thanks for your time tonight. Have a good Friday.
Thank you, Will.